Hi, my name is Carriann, and I'm sharing my story about postpartum depression, loss, and how I learned that asking for help is not a weakness, it's a strength. I'm a mother of 4 beautiful children. I have experienced the deepest pain of losing pregnancies, the overwhelming anxiety of carrying babies after those losses, and the crushing weight of postpartum depression that made me feel like I was disappearing into myself. But I'm also a woman who learned that I don't have to suffer in silence. And today I want to share my journey with you, because if there's even one person out there feeling the way I felt, ashamed, alone, and broken, I want you to know you're not alone, and it gets better. This is my story. My postpartum depression journey didn't start with a birth. It began with a loss. On June 20, 2015, I was miscarrying my first child. I was completely shattered. Everything I had imagined, the nursery, the first smile, the moment I would hold my baby, it all disappeared in a moment. I felt broken in a way I didn't know how to fix. But then something that felt like a miracle happened. I became pregnant again. Except it didn't feel like a miracle. It felt like walking through a minefield. For 9 months, I was anxious and fearful every single day. Every doctor's appointment, I held my breath, waiting for them to tell me there was no heartbeat. I was terrified that history would repeat itself, that I would lose this baby too. That moment never came. On May 6th, 2016, my first son was born and he was healthy. He was perfect. But the anxiety didn't leave with him. It came home with him. The first weeks after my son was born are a blur of intrusive thoughts and fear. Every single day, my mind is flooded with worst-case scenarios. I couldn't stop imagining something terrible happening to him. I was terrified to leave him for a second, but at the same time, I wanted to be alone. I wanted to sleep the day away. I wanted to disappear. My husband seemed to know how to do this. Parenting seemed to come naturally to him. He was so emotionally equipped. Everything looked easy for him. But for me, everything was a struggle. When he went back to work 2 weeks after our son was born, I fell apart. I struggled with breastfeeding. My body wasn't cooperating, and I felt like I was failing at the most basic thing a mother should be able to do. I struggled to leave the house. The thought of being around people, of pretending to be okay, of seeing other mothers who seemed to have it all figured out, it was too much. I struggled with any kind of self-care. Showering felt impossible. Eating felt pointless. This went on for months. I wasn't myself anymore. I was a shell of who I used to be, but I was trying my hardest to hide it because I was ashamed. I was ashamed that I wasn't happy about my baby. I was ashamed that I wanted to be alone instead of bonding with him. I was ashamed that my husband seemed to be doing everything right while I was falling apart. I was ashamed of the shame itself. So, I did what so many of us do. I pretended everything was fine. I cried by myself in the shower where no one could hear me. I avoided my friends because I didn't know how to explain what was wrong. I put on a smile and performed motherhood, while inside I was drowning. Months passed like this, until one day, something shifted. I don't know if I just couldn't carry the weight anymore, or if something inside me finally broke open in the right way. I found an online support group, a community of newly postpartum mothers, women who are grieving losses, women who are suffering in silence, just like me. I shared my story with them, my fear, my shame, my intrusive thoughts, all of it. And something miraculous happened. They didn't judge me. They said, "Me too." They said, "You're not broken." They said, "You're not alone." Sharing my feelings and journey with other women empowered me in a way I can't even describe. For the first time since my son was born, I didn't feel like I was the only person in the world going through this. Their support and encouragement gave me the courage to do something I had been terrified to do: tell my husband the truth. I told him everything. The intrusive thoughts, the anxiety, the shame, the feeling that I was failing as a mother and as a wife. And he listened. He didn't minimize it. He didn't tell me to just think positive. He helped me. And then he acted. He insisted that I get out in the fresh air every single day. He made sure I showered every day because he understood that self-care, even small self-care, mattered. We started alternating nights so that we shared the around-the-clock baby duties. I wasn't alone in this anymore. For the first time since my son was born, I could sleep for a full night, knowing that my baby was safe and cared for. This sounds simple, but it changed everything. As we worked together, I really started to enjoy motherhood. I started to feel like myself again. My healing journey has had its ups and downs. It wasn't a straight line from depression to happiness. Over the last 6 years, my husband and I have experienced more loss. We lost 2 more babies to miscarriage. Each loss triggered that fear again, that uncertainty, that anxiety. But we had also experienced healing, and we knew what to do. This time, I didn't suffer in silence. We told my care team, we told my family, we got support before the depression could take hold again. My care team and my husband became experts at recognizing when I was anxious or fearful. They were a constant support. And despite these losses, we also experienced the incredible joy of birthing 3 other healthy, full-term babies. Each birth was different, each pregnancy was different, but I was never alone. Motherhood is not linear. Postpartum is not linear. I think all mothers struggle sometimes. This isn't a weakness. This is normal. But having support makes an incredible difference. Sharing my feelings instead of hiding them changed my life. Taking care of myself, even when it feels selfish, even when you feel like you don't deserve it, is not optional. It's essential. And the most important thing I learned, asking for help is not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're strong enough to know what you need. Now, when I see my children smile, when I watch them grow, when they look up to me with pride and love, I feel so grateful. Not because motherhood is easy, not because I have it all figured out, but because I learned to ask for help, because I learned to speak up for myself, because I learned that I don't have to suffer alone. And if you're listening to this, if you're struggling, if you're ashamed, know that you're not alone. Your pain is valid, your struggle is real, and you deserve support. It gets better. I promise.